Just spent between 11 and 12:25, that period of time at the White House in the Cabinet Room in a bicameral, bipartisan group of members of Congress to discuss with the President at his invitation the fact that the economy is not recovering as fast as it should and what can we do to have it recover. You know, there were several people around the table and several different ideas, but let me put it in context that it was a very cordial conversation that each of us had with the President. He was very receptive. He took a lot of notes. He gave us some of his opinions as well. And I would say particularly it gave those of us that are Republicans an opportunity to thank the President for the stand that he'd taken in support of American servicemen and women in Afghanistan and the war on terror in his recent announcement. Beyond that, the economy was the main concern, and the fact that looks like we're having a recovery, but it's kind of a jobless recovery at this point, and what can we do to create jobs. The President yesterday announced some of those things that's on his mind. Some of them I think are worth considering, maybe even worth adopting, but I want to study the economic impact. But when it came to my turn, I made a point of two things. One, that he should do what he did about 12 months ago. He should announce that there's not going to be any tax increases, even though he ran on a platform of increasing taxes on higher income people. He said a year ago that it'd be very detrimental and make the recession worse if he were to do that. We're in about the same place we were 12 months ago, and I suggested he make a similar announcement right now, because the sooner made and the sooner that there is a certainty of tax policy, the more certain there is that people will spend money and will invest, and particularly when it comes at the marginal tax rates as opposed to targeted tax relief. And that's what basically we're talking about, is for the President to say that in the marginal tax rates there won't be an increase. The second thing was trade. We talked a lot about trade before he ever got to me, and several people brought up, and the President stated how he was for more free trade agreements, and he knows that trade's very important for the economic recovery. But I said that there seems to be too much dithering on this issue. For instance, there's been an agreement between America and Korea on a free trade agreement, probably better than anything we've had since the free trade agreement with Canada. That would really do our economy a great deal of good. And we're not getting it approved, so it's not going into effect. While at the same time, Europe has negotiated a free trade agreement with Korea, very similar to what we have negotiated. And so if they go ahead with that, and they are going to go ahead with it, we're going to lose a lot of our possibility of exports to Korea, to the European Union. And particularly, I think it's going to hurt our agriculture, particularly our pork, but a lot of other things as well. So that's what I said. That's the discussion I had with the President on jobs today during that hour-and-a-half meeting.